Perhaps that is why he has. And Fergus has also taught us much about the richness.
I don't normally dress like this in this room, but we are recreating some of our graduation ceremony conditions, including the fancy dress, for a very special occasion today to award an honorary degree to somebody that many of you know very well, one of the University of Edinburgh's long-standing supporters, who's made such a contribution to scholarship in Scottish Catholic theology of the 20th century. And I'll call upon Professor David Ferguson, Professor of Divinity, to present the candidate for an honorary degree.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, in the name and by the authority of the Senatus Academicus, I invite you to confer upon Dr. Fergus Gordon Thompson Kerr the honorary degree of Doctor of Divinity. The published History of Scottish Theology describes Fergus Kerr as the most distinguished Scottish Catholic theologian of the 20th century. That seems an unassailable judgment. In at least 3 areas, he has made an outstanding contribution to contemporary philosophical theology. His appropriation of the work of Wittgenstein has enabled us to understand the extent to which the human person is not an angel, but an animal. We are embodied creatures set in a social and material world. As he shows, theologians have too often failed to recognize these features of the human condition, yet they're vital for understanding the significance of ritual, liturgy, and meaning. In his work on Thomas Aquinas, Fergus Kerr has awakened us to the contrasting interpretations of his theology, which reflect the different historical circumstances in which Thomists have worked. Aquinas himself emerges here as a contextualized thinker who can better be understood and appreciated as a great and innovative thinker of the 13th century. And Fergus has also taught us much about the richness of 20th century Catholic theology, with its patterns of retrieval and development of church doctrine. What sets him apart is that he always writes in a style that is lucid, measured, irenic, and wise. Perhaps that is why he has proved such an effective preacher over many years in both Oxford and Edinburgh. His Dominican colleague, Timothy Radcliffe, has written this in the 2012 Festschrift in Fergus's honour. Fergus's acute sensitivity to language is essential to his pursuit of truth, to the truth of God and the truth of others and himself. That is why I have listened to hundreds of his sermons and lectures, read almost everything that he has written, and never ever been bored, but always been illuminated, enchanted, amused, and vastly grateful. Born in Banffshire in 1931, Fergus Gordon Thompson Kerr studied at the University of Aberdeen, graduating MA in 1953 before 2 years of national service in the RAF. In 1956, he entered the Dominican Order and undertook further studies in Paris, Munich, and Oxford. He was ordained to the priesthood in 1962. He taught philosophy and theology in Oxford from 1966 to 86. He served for 3 consecutive terms, rather unusually, as Prior of Blackfriars, Oxford from 1969 to 78, as Prior of Blackfriars here in Edinburgh from 92 to 98, and then as Regent in Blackfriars, Oxford from 98 to 2004. And for almost 25 years now, he has been editor of New Blackfriars, the theological journal of the English Dominican province. Since retiring from Oxford some 15 years ago, Fergus has resided in Edinburgh, playing an important role in the work of the Catholic chaplaincy team at George Square, while also contributing to postgraduate supervision as an honorary fellow in the School of Divinity. In 2005, he was also appointed to the post of honorary professor in the University of St Andrews. I have known many doctoral students who claim it a privilege to have met and conversed with Fergus. His comments on their written work are unfailingly charitable and encouraging. Thomas Aquinas often used the term fitting. It is indeed fitting that Fergus should be recognised in Edinburgh today. He's been closely associated with our university through the work of the Dominican House. In his preaching, supervision, friendship and support of students and staff, he has contributed quietly but effectively over many years. Today we salute him with gladness as a great scholar, a respected colleague and a beloved friend. So I invite you, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, to confer upon Fergus Kerr the honorary degree of Doctor of Divinity.
By the authority vested in me, I admit you to the degree. Congratulations.
Thank you. My connection with New College, this is a great honour, the University and New College. I'm really deeply moved. When I came here in '86, I got some teaching from Noel Dermot O'Donoghue, Alistair Key, and James Mackey. James is still with us in Waterford. I have one regret, which is that my young brother, well, he must be 70, can't be here. He's the senior lecturer in international management in the business school. But he and his wife, she's in the Adam Smith Institute, whatever it is, in Glasgow, doing the same kind of thing. They're actually on sabbatical in Australia. So they would have been delighted to come, they said. However, I think we would find it a bit embarrassing. They'd have managed. They have no religion. Just, you know, my extended family has no religion whatsoever. Very common. And paradoxical, because it seems to me that academic, university, Christian theology is in a much more, you know, excellent state right now than it's been for about most of my lifetime. Been great theologians and controversial ones, and here I mentioned Larry Hurtado, whose memorial will be in Saturday. Controversial figure, involved in much debate about the origins of Christianity, and frankly, I'm in James Dunn's side rather than Larry's. There you are. So, a family, extended family, with no religion, acquainted with, you know, wonderful academic theology at the present time, including here. And thirdly, look around the world. Religion in it. Bosnia, Serbia, Middle East, India, Pakistan, yeah. A family with no interest in religion. Come on, do they ever even look at the television? If anything, too much religion, seems to me, in the world today. And there too, this university has contributed a great deal. I remember going to lunch with William Montgomery Watt, a great man, priest of the Episcopal Church, Islam's, spent 3 years during the war in Jerusalem, and came back. He really created Islamic studies, not just in Edinburgh, but everywhere. So it's a privilege to belong to that tradition, so many people. And I just want to thank you for admitting me still alive. Give that comfort.
You're very welcome.